Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 133 for you guys today. This is going to be a solo episode, just your host only this week. Of course, this episode is going to be coming out on all four of our platforms, our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of episode 133. I'll be sharing my top 3 NFL performances of Week 15 of the NFL season. So I'll be ranking the top 3 team performances from 3 all the way down to number 1. So starting at number 3, I have the Detroit Lions' impressive 42-17 victory against the Denver Broncos. So the Lions, they have been struggling in their last 3 games, and they are a 10-4 football team. But now we are starting to find it's hard to see week by week. And that's why I say the NFL is a week by week league, because you don't know what you're going to get from each team on a weekly basis. And that's the case with the Detroit Lions. They are a 10-4 team, but they can be very inconsistent at times. And they struggled in their last 3 games prior to their victory against the Denver Broncos. They lost that Thanksgiving matchup to the Green Bay Packers. They nearly blew a 21-0 lead against the New Orleans Saints on the road in New Orleans. And they lost to the Chicago Bears. So they've been up and down their last previous games before their victory against the Denver Broncos. And in his statement victory, the Detroit Lions needed that statement victory at home against the Denver Broncos. Jared Goff had one hell of a performance at the quarterback position. He went on to throw 5 total touchdown passes in that win against the Denver Broncos, carving up that defense and dissecting them the whole entire game. And then you look at rookie tight end Sam Laporta, had one hell of a game as well. He had 3 catching touchdowns as a rookie tight end. Definitely the connection between those 2 respective players was on full display in their victory against the Denver Broncos. That performance that the Detroit Lions had is number 3 on my list. And then you look at number 2, I have the Seattle Seahawks huge victory against the Philadelphia Eagles when they won that game 20-17, and that was a huge win for the Seattle Seahawks. They needed that win to keep their playoff aspirations alive, picking up a big-time win at home against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football, winning that game 20-17. Drew Lock, their backup quarterback, played outstanding, and his second total start with the Seattle Seahawks played his best NFL game of the date since he's been in the NFL. Played one hell of a game. He led the Seattle Seahawks to a game-winning drive, which was not. He led the Seahawks offense 92 yards down the field to help them win that game Monday night. And he made some elite throws that you would think a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, a Aaron Rodgers would make in a game-winning drive. But that's what Drew Lock was doing, and he looked pretty elite for that game-winning drive. I mean, he made a lot of plays that a lot of quarterbacks would not make, a lot of throws that quarterbacks would not make in that game-winning drive. So hats off to him. And the Seattle Seahawks ended their 3-game losing streak, keeping their aspirations alive for the future playoff spot this upcoming NFL postseason. So big win for the Seahawks. They're number 2 on my list. But number 1, I hate to say it. Number 1, man, I gotta be honest here. Number 1 is the Buffalo Bills dominating the Dallas Cowboys 31-10. I don't know what happened, but the Bills picked up an impressive victory against the Dallas Cowboys, steamrolling my Dallas Cowboys 31-10 at home. It was an impressive victory. I have to call a spade and call it what it is. I was shocked to see how well the Buffalo Bills played. I was shocked that they were the more physical team than the Dallas Cowboys, because on paper the Cowboys are the more talented team, but the Bills were the more physical team, and that showed in Sunday's matchup between the 2 respective teams. And then looking at James Cook, man, these stats, he had the best performance of his young career thus far. He had a total of 179 rushing yards, 42 receiving yards, 2 total touchdowns. This is the first time since Josh Allen and Sean McDermott in their time with the Buffalo Bills have an effective running back to fully lean on for a effective running game. That's a scary sight for in Buffalo, and that's good that they finally had that in their organization. But they held an MVP candidate in Dak Prescott to just 134 passing yards, and the pass rush was very effective. Dak Prescott couldn't make plays in the pocket. He was not efficient all game long, and the Buffalo Bills did a great job defensively against the Cowboys, one of the best offenses in the league. But I predicted that the Buffalo Bills would miss the playoffs. But I might be biting my tongue on that because they have caught fire and they're getting hot when it matters most. They picked up an impressive victory against the Kansas City Chiefs just a few weeks ago. Now you just dethroned one of the best teams in the NFC and the Dallas Cowboys in dominating fashion. The Bills need some help to get in the playoffs, but they got to do their job and win out. But right now, it seems like they could be a team that teams do not want to play in the AFC. If they find a way to win the AFC North and they find a way to get into the playoffs, the Bills are getting hot when it matters most. But those are my top 3 team performances of Week 15 of the NFL season.